All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Now, Jimmy Santiago Baca was last year in the year 2012, and I had the great honor and privilege of interviewing him. He grew up not knowing how to read or write and had a life at the time that may be dismissed as many people as having no opportunities. He went on to be one of America's most beloved poets, and it is our extreme honor to have Jimmy back right now, who is presenting his latest film, A Place to Stand, based on his memoirs, and the filmmaker behind this project is Dan Glick. So, gentlemen, Hafide, welcome to Guam. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jimmy, good to see you again.
I'm so happy to be back.
All right. So of course, you know, you are probably known, and you are so well known by this company as the gentleman who wrote Blood In, Blood Out, a very, very profound film on our culture here. How does this project, it's based on your memoirs and everything like that, how does your own life experience work into this? And then we'll get to Dan about some of the challenges and some of the opportunities maybe of translating that to the screen.
Well, the book, A Place to Stand, of course, is an experience that comes from prison, my time in prison. And it also, me going into prison and illiterate and learning how to read and write. And then the book from that experience that came out was the book that Daniel read and decided to make something, a documentary about those years. And it's interesting because Blood In, Blood Out ties so many ways into that book. The early 70s when I was in prison was when Blood In, Blood Out in real life began, when they started to shift all the gang leaders there and stuff. Mm-hmm. And when I was leaving prison, there was a young man named Mascara who was serving life, who saved my life. And I wouldn't be sitting here now if it wasn't for him. And the thing that he said to me that I never forget was, I asked him what I can do for you because you saved my life. And he said, well, you don't belong here, he said, and I'm doing life anyway. But what I would like you to do is tell the truth, write the truth about what goes on behind these walls. And so that was the seed for Blood In, Blood Out. Mm. It's funny how that seed morphed into Daniel's beautiful documentary about my coming into literacy.
And of course, both of you gentlemen are here courtesy of our friends at the Guam Humanities Council, bringing you out here for a series of workshops which include readings of your poetry, Jimmy, screenings of both Blood In, Blood Out, and A Place to Stand. This is going to be an amazing community event because a lot of people are going to be able to take this in for the first time. So, and a lot of people will be able to interact with you directly, Dan. So, what drew you to this story, and how did you want to translate that and portray that?
Well, it started because I visited a friend's friend in prison in upstate New York, and that experience of, I'd never visited a prison before, and the experience of stepping behind those walls was so really like earth-shattering for me because I had never experienced the reality of prison. You know, I knew prison was like a place you didn't want to be, but it was so much beyond that. It was this horrific kind of nightmare scenario for everyone involved. And when I was there, I realized, okay, I want to make a film about this. People don't really understand what prison does to people on a deep level, and society also. And the inmate, the guy incarcerated there, Tommy, recommended Jimmy's book. He said, all right, you should read this book to find out more about prison. And I read the book, A Place to Stand, and it really, again, it blew me away. It shifted my perspective on the world. It opened my eyes to this whole segment of the population that we just throw behind walls and think that, okay, everything's going to be better now. And so it was on one hand wanting to tell the story of the devastation that prison creates for people and how it doesn't heal. And at the same time, simultaneously tell the story, Jimmy's story, which is so profoundly positive in this deep way. It's this uplifting journey of, you know, he was in one of the worst prisons in the United States, one of the most dangerous, and he was able to transform his life radically for the better. And he took it on his own. On his own impetus, he stepped up and fell in love with language, and he said, all right, I'm going to be a poet and damn the prison. You know, I'm gonna do it no matter what it takes. And it's such an inspiration for me, and I know it's been an inspiration for hundreds of thousands of others. His book is the most stolen book out of like these nonprofits that work with gang kids. They're like, they just steal his book because it's so moving for them.
And Jimmy, actually, you intimated that to me 3 years ago when we first talked, and you said because even though you were physically incarcerated and you know behind bars, when you had a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you, you found not just metaphorically, but even literally, like, you know, your freedom. because you could create, you could express, you could explore, you could investigate and everything like that. And you said it to me at the time and everything, that's when you really had an awakening.
Yeah, I saw, I'm not that familiar with, I guess I should be with the Bible and stuff, but wasn't there a guy named Sammy or Samuel or somebody walking down the road and he changed something of light, an angel appeared to him or something? Mm-hmm. I was walking down that road and a book appeared to me and I'm like, here goes my life of crime, I was like, my criminal intent was to be one of the greatest criminals of all time, I wanted to be able to manipulate and maneuver myself in such a way where I would navigate into a wealth beyond imagination. But a book appeared to me, and I guess I'm satisfied with Daniel doing the documentary and tripling my royalties because of the document. I mean, I'm gonna have to be, it's an honest day's bread and stuff like that. But one of the things I wanted to say was that I'm so busy with all these projects, with working with kids and working with teacher training and literacy programs and classes and reforming the whole educational thing in the States. And I'm assuming that Dan's just as busy. And I'm also writing Blood and Blood Out too, and I'm finishing a novel and this and that. But I'm not sure what the relationship is with Guam, but we stopped everything to come here. And Daniel and we've never done that before. I mean, I know that he's in the middle of all kinds of stuff, and I'm in the middle of all kinds of things, right? And we just said, okay, enough. There's not rationalizing this. We have an obligation to go to Guam, and that relationship is such an old school type of loyalty toward the people in Guam and being here and stuff that it's almost magical. We love being here. We stopped everything we did. I don't think you can get us anywhere in the country for both of us to come to an invitation like this. But Guam is, the Guam Humanities Council, we have something with them. I don't know what it is.
Well, we certainly do.
But we're here, and I got a feeling that this is not the end of our being here in years to come.
Yeah, and we do want to thank you for your trip here, and we want to remind people that A Place to Stand, the community, the gala dinner and film premiere of A Place to Stand is going to be on Saturday the 17th at 6 p.m. at the Westin Resort. You can go to our YouTube channel and find out how you can get tickets. Gentlemen, have a wonderful trip, and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, please see it, everybody. Jimmy Santiago Baca, generally considered one of America's most beloved poets. We're back after this.